The principal reasons for failure are lack of confidence and too much effort. I feel like I could end this segment of the video with just that quote alone, but there's just so much more to explain. Today we're going through confidence and effort, two topics taken from Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. More specifically, Chapter 8, How to Get the Results That You Want, which we will be reading at the very end. I have made bullet points to ensure that I don't miss anything, nor rant and ramble on a pattern I find unnecessary. As always, everything is time-stamped. Murphy's approach to self-development and the law of attraction is far more relaxed than we're used to. The simple way is the best, he says, while he encourages us to actually use no willpower whatsoever. To use willpower, force, or coercion is to infer an opponent, as he likes to say. Some sort of force outside of your control that must be conquered before you can realize your goal. And when worded like this, I can see how an excessive use of willpower can be an implication of a lack mindset. Too much effort shows anxiety and fear. Easy does it, he persistently adds. Instead of using willpower, we should persist in maintaining a simple, childlike, miracle-making faith and pass on the idea of health, for example, to the subconscious mind to the point of conviction and then relax. Just like Abraham Hicks, Florence Scovel Shinn, James Allen, and Neville Goddard, he is adamant on aiming for calmness, poise, relaxation, good feelings. Though he never used this exact term, one of his methods for speaking directly to the subconscious mind was essentially SATS. The conscious mind is submerged to a great extent when in a sleepy state. He tells a tale of one of his students who was wrapped up in some sort of lawsuit, and she wanted to be done with that as soon as possible, obviously. She presumably tried everything, every other method, and nothing worked, not until she started practicing, basically, SATS. Again, although he does not use those exact terms, that's basically what he is describing. Now, I do not want to make a false point that Murphy taught mental laziness or lack of self-control or anything of the sort. Nothing like that. That was nothing that he ever spoke about or wrote about. A wonderful way to get a response from your subconscious mind is through disciplined imagination. Now, obviously, this would mean some sort of repetition. However, it must be done from a very relaxed state, from a state where not too much effort is being exerted. It feels very Kaizen method in that way. Mental effort is invariably self-defeated, eventuating in the opposite of what is desired. According to Dr. Robert Maurer, who is a clinical psychologist on the faculty of the UCLA and the University of Washington Schools of Medicine, the real problem with the amygdala and its fight or flight response today is that it sets off alarm bells whenever we want to make a departure from our usual safe routines. The amygdala alerts parts of the body to prepare for action, and our access to the cortex, the thinking part of the brain, is restricted and sometimes shuts down. Now, why does the opinion of a psychologist matter in something as spiritual as the law of attraction and manifesting, or something as personal as self-development? If you believe that your thoughts are responsible for your circumstances, then it would be in your best interest to understand how your human brain operates and not to make things more complicated. But if you've been trying to bring about a certain wish within your life and it's not here yet, it's already more complicated than you realize. Never try to compel the subconscious mind to accept your idea by exercising willpower, because for the majority of us, this approach won't work. Joseph, after this, goes on to give an example that we are all very familiar with. A student enters an examination room ready to take a test for which they have diligently prepared for, only to find that all the answers to all the questions have now escaped their minds. Answers they know, might I add. But upon completing the test with great effort and force, all the answers come flooding back into their minds once the pressure is gone. Trying to force themselves to remember was the cause of their failure, he says. So within the lines of Joseph Murphy's work here, we find that theme of learning how your brain works, learning how to think, learning the operation of your brain and mind is of the utmost importance to you, since you're the one who wants to use your thoughts to create a better reality for yourself. I suspect this is an underlying understanding shared between all of the other amazing leaders within this field, the ones who encourage us to detach, to let go, to just feel good. It seems as though this is an optimal mental state. Murphy's advice to us is to take a look at the problem, then turn towards the way out, then simply rest with deep conviction that it's done. Not in the future or in a distant time frame, but done now. Rest in deep conviction. Conviction meaning certainty, assurance, confidence. This is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. That verse goes on to say, and if he hears us, we know that we have that which we've asked of him. We know that we have. Present tense. Now, I can imagine there may be a question regarding, well, should I continue with all of my techniques, for example, robotic affirmations or affirmations in general? Should I continue with doing my daily guided visualizations, scripting, whatever it is that you do? I suppose the answer would be, and the answer will always be, to follow how you feel. Follow how you feel, because if doing all of these mental and or physical exercises makes you feel awful and it feels absolutely useless, then maybe you should take a hint. If it makes you feel as though you don't know that you have, adjust yourself. There are people who know nothing of the laws of the universe and still go on to achieve marvelous things. I'm sure you used to be one of them. I'm also almost sure that the majority of this generation globally was not raised by parents who taught us of the laws of our mind and the laws of the this and the that. Nothing spiritual in that arena, but we still achieved the things that we wanted at some point, even without that knowledge, even without actively trying to via all these techniques. There is something to be learned from how you got the results you wanted before anyone told you how to. Joseph Murphy was a prolific New Thought author with over 30 published works. I have not read all of his works yet, but from what I have read, what I've noticed so far is that he did not approach self-development from a totally singular point of view. What I mean by that is his works explore so much more, and you can definitely see how his interests in psychology and Far Eastern philosophy definitely influenced his writings. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, originally published back in 1963, is yet another classic, and personally I think it's a must-have in your collection of New Thought. Chapter 8, specifically entitled How to Get the Results You Want, is a beautiful chapter full of many gems. So for the remainder of this video, I will be narrating that chapter so you can have the opportunity to catch anything that's relevant to you that I may have missed. Chapter 8. How to get the results you want. The principal reasons for failure are lack of confidence and too much effort. Many people block answers to their prayers by failing to fully comprehend the workings of the subconscious mind. When you know how your mind functions, you gain a measure of confidence. You must remember, whenever your subconscious mind accepts an idea, it immediately begins to execute it. It uses all its mighty resources to that end and mobilizes all the mental and spiritual laws of your deeper mind. This law is true for good or bad ideas. Consequently, if you use it negatively, it brings trouble, failure, and confusion. When you use it constructively, it brings guidance, freedom, and peace of mind. The right answer is inevitable when your thoughts are positive, constructive, and loving. From this, it is perfectly obvious that the only thing you have to do in order to overcome failure is to get your subconscious to accept your idea or request by feeling its reality now, and the law of your mind will do the rest. Turn over your request with faith and confidence, and your subconscious will take over the answer for you. You will always fail to get results by trying to use mental coercion. Your subconscious mind does not respond to coercion. It responds to your faith or conscious mind acceptance. Your failure to get results may also arise from such statements as, "Things are getting worse. I will never get an answer. I see no way out. It's hopeless. I don't know what to do. I'm all mixed up." When you use such statements, you get no response or cooperation from your subconscious mind. Like a soldier marking time, you neither go forward nor backward. In other words, you don't get anywhere. If you get into a taxi and give half a dozen different directions to the driver in 5 minutes, he would become hopelessly confused and probably refuse to take you anywhere. It is the same when working with your subconscious mind. There must be a clear-cut idea in your mind. You must arrive at the definite decision that there is a way out, a solution to the vexing problem in sickness. Only the infinite intelligence within your subconscious knows the answer. When you come to that clear-cut conclusion in your conscious mind, your mind is then made up, and according to your belief, it is done unto you. Easy does it. A house owner once demonstrated with a furnace repairman for charging $200 for fixing the boiler. The mechanic said, "I charged 5 cents for the missing bolt and $199.95 for knowing what was wrong." Similarly, your subconscious mind is the master mechanic, the all-wise one who knows ways and means of healing any organ of your body as well as your affairs. Decree health, and your subconscious will establish it. But relaxation is the key. Easy does it. Do not be concerned with details and means, but know the end result. Get the feel of the happy solution to your problem, whether it is health, finances, or employment. Remember how you felt after you had recovered from a severe state of illness. Bear in mind that your feeling is the touchstone of all subconscious demonstration. Your new idea must be felt subjectively in a finished state, not the future, but as coming about now. Infer, no opponent. Use imagination and not willpower. In using your subconscious mind, you infer no opponent. You use no willpower. You imagine the end state and the freedom state. You will find your intellect trying to get in the way, but persist in maintaining a simple, childlike, miracle-making faith. Picture yourself with the ailment or problem. Imagine the emotional accompaniment of the freedom state you crave. Cut out all red tape from the process. The simple way is the best. How disciplined imagination works wonders. A wonderful way to get a response from your subconscious mind is through disciplined or scientific imagination. As previously pointed out, your subconscious mind is the builder of the body and controls all its vital functions. The Bible says, "Whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive." To believe is to accept something as true, or to live in the state of being it. As you sustain this mood, you shall experience the joy of the answered prayer. The 3 steps to success in prayer. The usual procedure is as follows. Number 1, take a look at the problem. Number 2, turn to the solution or way out known only to the subconscious mind. And number 3, rest in a sense of deep conviction that it is done. Do not weaken your prayer by saying, I wish it might be healed. Oh, I hope so. Your feeling about the work to be done is the boss. Harmony is yours. Know that health is yours. Become intelligent by becoming a vehicle for the infinite healing power of the subconscious mind. Pass on the idea of health to your subconscious mind to the point of conviction, then relax. Get yourself off your hands. Say to the condition and circumstance, this too shall pass. Through relaxation, you impress your subconscious mind, enabling the kinetic energy behind the idea to take over and bring it into concrete realization. The law of reversed effect and why you get the opposite of what you pray for. Kui, the guy we learned about in It Works. Kui, the famous psychologist from France who visited America about 40 years ago, defined the law of reversed effect as follows. When your desires and imagination are in conflict, your imagination invariably gains the day. If, for example, you were asked to walk a plank on the floor, you would do so without question. Now, suppose the same plank were placed 20 feet up in the air between 2 walls. Would you walk it? Your desire to walk it will be counteracted by your imagination or fear of falling. Your dominant idea, which would be the picture of falling, would conquer. Your desire, will, or effort to walk on the plank would be reversed, and the dominant idea of failure would be reinforced. Mental effort is invariably self-defeated, eventuating always in the opposite of what is desired. The suggestions of powerlessness to overcome the condition dominate the mind. Your subconscious is always controlled by the dominant idea. Your subconscious will accept the strongest of 2 contradictory propositions. The effortless way is better. If you say, I want a healing, but I can't get it. I try so hard. I force myself to pray. I use all of the willpower I have. You must realize that your error lies in your effort. Never try to compel the subconscious mind to accept your idea by exercising willpower. Such attempts are doomed to failure and you get the opposite of what you prayed for. The following is a rather common experience. Students, when taking examinations and reading through their papers, find that all their knowledge has suddenly deserted them. Their minds become appalling blanks and they are unable to recall one relevant thought. The more they grit their teeth and summon the powers of the will, the further the answers seem to flee. But when they have left the examination room and the mental pressure relaxes, the answers they were seeking flow tantalizingly back into their minds. Trying to force themselves to remember was the cause of their failure. This is an example of the law of reversed effect, whereby you get the opposite of what you asked or prayed for. The conflict of desire and imagination must be reconciled. To use mental force is to presuppose that there is opposition. When your mind is concentrated on the means to overcome a problem, it is no longer concerned with the obstacle. Matthew chapter 18 verse 19 says, If 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. Who are these 2? It means the harmonious union between your conscious and subconscious on any idea, desire, or mental image. When there is no longer any quarrel in either part of your mind, your prayer will be answered. The 2 agreeing may also be represented as you and your desire, your thought and feeling, your idea and emotion, your desire and imagination. You avoid all conflict between your desires and imagination by entering into a drowsy, sleepy state, which brings all effort to a minimum. The conscious mind is submerged to a great extent when in a sleepy state. The best time to impregnate your subconscious occurs prior to sleep and just after we awaken. In this state, the negative thoughts and imagery, which tend to neutralize your desire and so prevent acceptance by your subconscious mind, no longer present themselves. When you imagine the reality of the fulfilled desire and feel the thrill of accomplishment, your subconscious brings about the realization of your desire. A great many people solve their dilemmas and problems by the play of their controlled, directed, and disciplined imagination, knowing that whatever they imagine and feel as true will and must come to pass. The following will clearly illustrate how a young girl overcame the conflict between her desire and her imagination. She desired a harmonious solution to her legal problem, yet her mental imagery was constantly on failure, loss, bankruptcy, and poverty. It was a complicated lawsuit, and there was one postponement after another with no solution in sight. At my suggestion, she got into a sleepy, drowsy state each night prior to sleep, and she began to imagine the happy ending, feeling it to the best of her ability. She knew that the image in her mind had to agree with her heart's desire. Prior to sleep, she began to dramatize as vividly as possible her lawyer having an animated discussion with her regarding the outcome. She would ask him questions and he would answer her appropriately. He would say to her over and over again, there has been a perfect, harmonious solution. The case has been settled out of court. During the day when fear thoughts came into her mind, she would run her mental movie with gestures, voice, and sound equipment. She could easily imagine the sound of his voice, smile, and mannerism. She ran this mental picture so often it became a subjective pattern, a regular train track. At the end of a few weeks, her attorney called and confirmed objectively what she had been imagining and feeling as true subjectively. This is really what the psalmist meant when he wrote, "Let the words of my mouth," your thoughts, mental images, good, "and the meditations of my heart," your feeling, nature, emotion, "be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord," the law of your subconscious mind, "my strength and my redeemer." The power and wisdom of your subconscious mind can redeem you from sickness, bondage, and misery. Psalm chapter 19, verse 14. Ideas worth remembering. Number 1. Mental coercion or too much effort shows anxiety and fear, which block your answer. Easy does it. Number 2, when your mind is relaxed and you accept an idea, your subconscious goes to work to execute that idea. Number 3, think and plan independently of traditional methods. Know that there is always an answer and a solution to every problem. Number 4, do not be overly concerned with the beating of your heart, with the breathing of your lungs, or the functions of any part of your anatomy. Lean heavily upon your subconscious and proclaim frequently that divine right action is taking place. Number 5, the feeling of health produces health. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. How do you feel? Number 6, imagination is your most powerful faculty. Imagine what is lovely and of good report. You are what you imagine yourself to be. Number 7, you avoid conflict between your conscious and subconscious in the sleepy state. Imagine the fulfillment of your desire over and over again prior to sleep. Sleep in peace, wake in joy. And with that being said, thank you for watching this video. I truly do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I trust you'll give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content just like this one. So, how did you like today's video, and what video would you like to see next? You let me know in the comment section down below. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Toodles.